feel like I've met Rhonda. I haven't met you guys, but I'm Kristen. I'm right there. So
you don't know, it's right there.
it's literally just skip and jump. Crystal and Kristen. You can call either of us Chris. We'll both respond. We might respond aggressively or not. I don't know. Just
Depends on the day. Well, look, guys.
So, anyways, one of the things with new agents that I'm seeing a lot of is having there's so many different guidelines for loans. Knowing what your debt to income ratio is, knowing what the down payment is, and I want to give you a kind of a quick off the top of your head guide for assessing whether someone is in the right price range. So if you have a borrower who comes to you, now obviously the guidelines are different, so there's like all different whatevers, but
in the basic FHA one.
yeah, there's like a basic FHA. So for FHA, you can go up to a 55% debt to income ratio. For conventional, you can go up to 50%. But for you having a conversation, unless you're sitting there with a pen and a paper and you're like, let me do some calculations, it's an easy way to kind of like off the top of your head, see if you're in the right lane or whatever. Words aren't my friends today, but numbers are.
Let's do this, because everybody on Zoom land too, take note of this. Is there a pin up there?
Right ahead.
For the whiteboard?
Oh, yeah, they're in that little bucket right there, right on the.
What bucket?
Right on the podium.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very beneficial, so you guys, if you guys can take notes, do notate this, because I can tell you, I go through this for people who come in and they're really unsure if they even want to buy a house, or they're like, I don't even know what the numbers are, I don't know if I can afford this, and that's where you can really show your value at the time with talking to them in a matter of 30 to 45 seconds, give them clarity, and they're like, you know what, you're giving me value, let's talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, say someone comes to you, Jose, and they're like, hey, I want to buy this $500,000 house. You're like, fantastic. What's your monthly income?
$500K.
Yeah. And they're like, I make $10,000. You're like,
income.
fantastic. So off the top of your head, you're like, $10,000, let's cut it in half. You can go up to $5,000 in debt a month. Hey, I love that brand new Tesla. How much is your payment? $959. Cool. Let's call that 1,000 because you're doing this all in your
So
head.
now, so what she's doing, so you're gonna find the debt to, 10K is your gross income. As she mentioned to you, it's gonna be 50% of that, so that's where you got 5K. Now, you're gonna minus out their debts.
Mm-hmm. So cool, great new Tesla, $1,000 payment. So now you're down 1,000. So now you're at 4K. Do you have a lot of credit card debt? Kind of. Okay, what are your monthly payments roughly, the minimums? I'd probably pay about $500 in that. Okay.
500?
So now we're down to $3,500 can be for your payment. Okay, do you have any installment loans? Oh, I have a bunch of student loans, but they're deferred.
Oh,
Cool.
So we'll just stick with basic ones. So
Yeah.
one car, so you have an auto payment of $1,000 and you have credit cards minimum payments, not what they pay. A lot of them might say, oh, I might pay $1,000 a month. That's great, but we're only looking for your minimum payments that show on your credit report. So say in total $1,500.
Yeah.
So now 15 minus 5,000 is 3,500.
Yeah. So when you're saying, okay, a $500,000 house, $3,500 for the payment, this is probably realistic.
Okay.
However, you get someone who comes in, so this is just you getting rough numbers and assessing where they're at. This is not like guidelines, firm, whatever.
Correct.
So say someone comes in now and they have a $4,000 a month income. And they're like, I love this $600,000 house. And you're like, okay, do you have any other streams of income? Do you have anything else going on that I should be aware of? Nope, okay. So now I'm at $2,000 a month. Hey, do you have any debt? Same thing. We have a $500 card payment.
We'll just stick with 1,500.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're $4,000 a month, half of that is $2,000, and you have $1,500 in liabilities, then you are left with only being able to spend $500 for your mortgage. So this is where you know what? I really need to get you in front of my lender. They work magic. We got to get the fine numbers before we move forward with looking at this $500,000, $600,000 house. That way, you're not saying no, but you're also kind of categorizing it as, okay, this isn't really realistic, or some things might need to be done. Let's tweak the numbers. And that's how you kind of assess what's going on. Because nothing worse than someone coming to me want to get pre-approved for a $600,000 house. They make $4,000, and they don't understand that, the realtor just wants the sale. So they're super
Right.
excited and gung ho, and they come to me, and I let them down, and now they're discouraged. So kind of giving them a not, yay, whatever, but let's get to the numbers person.
Perfect.
And that was my
Thank
10-minute.
you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
I have a quick question for you. Do you guys have experience with manual underwriting?
So I haven't personally done manual underwriting, but my coworker has been doing this for like 25 years, and I assume she has at some point in time. That's a great question.
It's a little more in depth. We're gonna stick to the basics. Thanks for that question, Luke.
Well, the
I
top
appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll talk later, because I'm gonna go Google that and be like, what do I do?
So just a little summary on what you just mentioned regarding the figures. Now, this is a great tool and something you all do want to know. That way you can be able to, as mentioned, you could speak with the client and see how realistic they are with the price point they're at, and then giving some value. And then also the point is to get them to the lender to get an appointment. So say somebody has an income of $10,000, okay? Lending 50% of that is what they're gonna count, because they gotta account for living expenses and additional costs. They're gonna allow 50% of that as your housing cost. So then you're at 5,000. Great. Now let's talk about debts. They have $1,000 in an auto payment and $500 in credit cards, which accumulates $1,500. 5,000 minus 1,500 gives you 35. So 3,500 is what an estimate, always give estimates because you're not a lender, but it gives you an idea, this is what they can afford on a monthly basis. Now, on the other side, if somebody, as mentioned, has a $600,000 home, yes, and they make $4,000 a month, well, we know 50% of that is what you count for housing, minus 1,500, leaves you with 500. This is gonna let you know what type of lead you're talking to. Don't be wrong, we're here to help all, so you're still gonna try to get an appointment, but you're gonna know, hey, this one is more realistic at what we're looking at, whereas this one, we may have to see if they have like a co-signer, maybe this might be a nurturer, may take some time, they may be getting a promotion soon, but it gives you an idea on who you're working with. And then as you're talking with somebody at open house, if they're really unsure, you're like, hey, look, from my estimate calculations, looks like you can afford $3,500 a month. Wow, don't you agree? Now it's time to get you to a lender and we can sit down and talk about the home buying process. Yes, which is a tie down. Any questions on that before we get into open house?
How did you come up with the figure that they could come up with?
I'll help you with that at the end, because we just put up, don't worry, I'll make sure you understand this one too. Any questions before I move on?
Oh, what's the two?
So 50%.
Oh,
What's the average payment, let's say $400,000 house, FHA, minimum down payment?
Do you guys know the minimum down payment and closing costs?
3.5 for FHA.
3%, I thought.
That's
Conventional.
conventional though, right?
Unconventional.
Yeah, so we'll get into that, 'cause I did get into that in my last one, but just a little rule of thumb. One, speak to the lender so you know more. Conventional, as low as 3% down payment. Closing costs, 2%. In total, we want 5% for conventional, as low as. FHA, 3.5% down payment, 2% for closing costs, 5.5% for rule of thumb. I always say, hey, let's make it 6, because if you don't know, during the home buying process, the buyer's expenses include inspections and appraisal. I would rather overstate than understate, because if anything less, guess what? It's a win-win, guys. Did I answer your question real quick?
Yeah. Cool. I know it's a matter of opinion on the closing cost, some people told me 3%. Have you always found 2% to be more accurate?
Now, 3%, I'll get into this quickly because we gotta get into the slides. So 3% depending on the year. If we're looking at the end of the year, yes, they're gonna have to collect more in taxes. So more towards like November, December, I would say 3%. Now, if you're looking to have somebody go in strong and be competitive and say, hey, guess what? We may have to pay all the closing costs. Sellers in on the closing cost is 1%. So if you're like, hey, what is my closing cost if I'm gonna pay all of it? We're looking at 3%. So depending on the scenario, know your contracts and always talk to your lender, because your lender is gonna assist you with this as well, to give you a good estimate of an idea what you're working with. Okay? Cool. Let's get into open houses, guys. This is my favorite. I love open houses. This is something that I started off doing. You guys will talk to some senior agents, and they will also express to you, hey, open houses, You definitely want to get to know this because that is another way of one of the fastest ways of getting a lead. Okay? Let's move on. Before I do that, I know some of you. Let me reintroduce myself. So my name is Jose Hernandez. I'm the team lead of Parm Atwell Real Estate team. I'm actually lead agent. I've been in the industry for about 4.5 years now. Last year I did 49 units. Previous 2 units I did like 35, 36. And I can tell you that I really do well at open houses, but understand that open houses, there's a strategy to it. You just don't show up and say, I'm ready. There's other protocols that you should do in order to have an efficient open house. For example, Luke had a great one this past weekend, or previous weekend. Did they put out how many signs?
38.
38. We're going to talk more about signs. What does that get? And also door knocking and so forth with that. So that's myself. Now let's get into this so we can get into the material. I'm excited to go over this with you guys. All right, how does this work? What am I doing? All right, patience.
Let me grab Amy. Or somebody.
Yeah, Melinda. So while we're getting this technical difficulty situated, tell me, have any of you guys done open houses yet? Shadowed.
I did one by myself on Sunday.
Nice.
You did something wrong.
I know. I tend to get told that quite often. So it's okay. Cool. So we have some that have not done any at all. We have some that have shadowed. We have some that have actually done the open houses. Congratulations on that as well. Open houses, again, they're one of the best sources, fastest way to get a lead, besides your sphere of influence. Now, in open houses, your job is to be there to procure leads, at the same time, assist with selling the house. But at the same time, understand that the house will sell without you. So your job primarily is to get leads.
That's right. Go back. Yay.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you.
That'll be about 10 of us.
All right, I'll get you after. All right, now back on track, and then we'll go through this. So guys, successful agents do this every day. Grow your business and run your business. Lead generate for buyers and sellers, which is your #1 task, your #1 job. Let's move on from that one. All right, the benefits of open house. Inexpensive. We like that. It is your time though. Qualified leads from one listing. High ROI and exposure. Productive way to meet buyers and sellers. Okay. Prepare, prospect, pursue. The 3 P's. And let's talk about prepare. Now, with open houses, we typically are going to be held like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can still do some, we do them during the weekdays. Just as you're procuring the area, procuring the house, make sure that it's going to be worth it. Meaning, if you're near a school, do an open house around time that school is out, which is more traffic. Weekends. Depending on your schedule, I like to do open house between 11 and 2 because people are still looking in the morning, but by 2 o'clock I feel, they're getting a little tired. I'm looking at open houses at the same time. It works for my schedule. As you're preparing for an open house, you're going to want your open house signs. Okay? Get this. Also have your business cards. Script practice. Huge. Know what you're going to say. Know your stats of the house. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet, built in 2004. Lot size about 7,500, listed at XYZ. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help as you come out. Sign placement. Huge. Don't just rely on MLS. What you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to put in some legwork for this. You're going to want to flyer drop off 25 houses to the left, door knock flyer drop off 25 houses to the right. At the same time, signs. Again, we mentioned earlier, Luke put out over 30 signs. Now these are going to be a combination of the ones that you stick in the grass, it's going to be the metal ones that you put on the street. I say my preference between 15 and 20. You can go ahead and be an overachiever like Luke, because obviously we see it reap the reward. The more, the better. And if you're asking, where do I get my signs? You can order some custom ones offline, or you can also go to SAR and you can buy some plain open house red and white ones. They're probably about $10 each. It's an investment. It's a write-off. You need your tools for the trade, and open house signs is definitely what you're going to need. Yeah, Luke.
Real cheap, Home Depot, $4.50 each.
Home Depot too. And I picked some of those up as well.
Generic, but they work.
They only have, limited on supply. But yeah, there's no reason for you not to have any signs, and there's no reason for you guys to not have the tools for your trade. A contractor's gonna have a hammer. A doctor's gonna have a stethoscope. Why don't you have your signs? Okay. So the intention of putting signs out is because you're not only gonna attract people off MLS, you're gonna get people who have agents are gonna come inside, and you're gonna always ask that question. We're in an industry that, treat people as you expect them to treat you. If somebody says they has an agent or they have an agent with them, don't overstep that boundary, because you wouldn't want that happen to you. Putting the signs out correctly. You want to be able to steer the public. In addition to people looking on MLS, you're going to have your looky-loos. You're going to have your neighbors. You might meet a neighbor that, hey, I've been thinking about selling my house. Well, let's have a conversation. Or, hey, I've been thinking about this neighborhood because my mom lives about 2 streets down. I really love this neighborhood. They may have not been in the market at the time, but they were thinking about it, and guess what? Because they've seen your sign, they came in the house. So again, sign placement is huge. Make it clear. Now, what I do when I go to do my open houses, I drive to my location, and as I'm driving to my location, I'm seeing my route. Is there any stop signs? Is there any corners? Where can I put a sign? Don't overthink it, but just make it simple. Whereas you're driving, do I know clearly where my open house is at? For example, you guys walked in here today. You knew right away where the class was. Of course you know what the class is. But sign placement is huge. Don't make it too difficult. Understand if there's maybe a corner to a left to a right, make it clear so people can clearly identify where the open house is. And also put signs in the front of the yard so you're like, hey, open house is here, come on in. Now with that being said, you're also going to need sign-in sheets. Now I use my tablet. For those, you can have sign-in sheets or you can have a tablet. I have an app that I download. I started using this because, as we know, technology is here and it's automated. Whereas sometimes you may feel with sign-in sheets, you have to instruct them to do line by line. Phone number, name, and last name. Whereas this, it's automated. You click, name, at bottom next, click, email, click, so forth. It's just automated. And we tend to, I think that, nowadays with technology, we're just so automated. Whereas on a piece of paper, I'm going to have to instruct you and look back at it like, oh, you missed a digit. Oh, I didn't get your last name. Okay? And then there's also a protocol to that, which is building rapport. So that prepare signs, have your open house if you can identify by either Monday or Tuesday, so it gives you time to prep, to door knock and flyer drop off, and be prepared. Show up to your open houses about an hour early. Gives you about 30 minutes to place out your signs. At the same time, give you a few minutes just to, all right, get in the mind, have some water, have some snacks, make sure you're ready to go, because when that 11 o'clock pops up, that door's open, you're on. Prospect. Prospect is, as you're doing your open house, greet everybody. This is not the time to be shy. Somebody walks in the door, hi, nice to meet you, my name is Jose. What is your name? It's Luke. Hey Luke, thanks for coming in today. Information on the house, know your stats. Again, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, you're looking at about 1,500 square feet, built in 2004, lot size 75, listed at 574. Take a look around. If you have any questions, I'm here to help. A good little quick thing that I do is that I will go on my phone, I'll go to MLS, I will pull up the address and screenshot it. Because there might be a time you might forget, but hey, if I do, I know where to get it. Pull up my phone quick, give me 1 second. This is what we're looking at. If you try to log in, you're going to get fumbling, you're going to go off track, and then say, okay, we're going to go finish looking around now, and you're going to break that report. So always be ready know what you're gonna need in order to access the information immediately. Again, technology, screenshot it, go to your photos, bam, pretty easy, okay? As you're interacting with people, ask questions. That's where our job is entailed. Questions, questions, questions. So, what brought you to the open house today? Oh, my agent sent me over here. Great, so you're working with an agent. I am. They may give you their card. And if they don't, okay, just gotta respect that. Sometimes people might say that at first because they don't really know you. It doesn't mean you stop asking questions. It doesn't mean you shut them off and let them do their thing. Okay? As they're going around, continue greeting people, talking with people, and as they come back around, ask them, is there any feedback? Is there anything you can tell me I can provide to the salad? What do you like, what don't you like? And then from there, you can go into your script and ask them, hey, are you in the market? What's going on? You can kind of ask those questions at that time, because some people, they may come in, they'll just go right in, hi. And yes, with being newer, you're like, they don't want to talk to me. Don't let that get in the way, because they just haven't established that rapport with you. It doesn't mean you shouldn't make the attempt to talk to them, okay? As they come out and you see them, already seen the house, hey, so you've seen the property, what'd you think? They'll kind of get into that, oh, I don't like this, I was looking for that. And that's your time right there to ask more questions, say, you know what? This one might not work for you, but I know of another one that is. What's your availability? We can sit down and have an appointment. This is where you're gonna go for the close. And if maybe they might be like, I'm not ready, that's okay. So then you kind of dig deeper. Now this will come with experience. It's gonna come with script practicing, knowing what to hit on to find the motivation, and to give you an idea on, are they looking to buy now or looking to buy later? Okay? Make sure to always get the information too on that one. When people come in, always have them sign in. You might get some pushback with some people, and that's okay. But the thing is that you haven't built rapport, and you're going to notice that. If you just walk in, hey, sign in. I want to sign in. I don't know you. That's where in your head, okay, great. I have to build rapport. How can I build rapport? You're always probing. You're always probing. There's no reason you can't build rapport with anybody and everybody. You just have to, in your mind, know what you have to do. Okay? Follow up. When they leave that open house and you're done with your open house, either at the time when you close the door, you're going to do your follow-up, make it a habit, maybe get like a little script, like a little text. Hey, thank you for attending my open house at XYZ. It was a real pleasure to meet you. And then you go from there, depending on if you set an appointment or if you're just trying to follow up, and just let them know, hey, I'm going to follow up and see how I can help you. There's a lot of different scripts. You always want to follow the scripts. Don't alter it until you actually know the script, and then you can add your swing on it. But don't change that initially because you need to learn the language. Remember, follow-up is where the money's at. Pursue. That's kind of where the follow-up is. You have to, stay in contact. Let them know that, hey, I'm here to help you. How can I help you? Hey, I remember you mentioned to me that you were concerned about the income. I have a great lender that can assist you. If it's with questions up front, and if you're okay, we can get an application started. So that way we can identify your affordability. Okay? People want help. Not everybody's in the right situation right now to buy a home, but that doesn't mean it won't be 6 months from now, 3 months from now, or even next year. Your job is like, hey, I'm your person. If you think of real estate, think of me. If somebody else knows looking to buy and sell, I want you to feel like you have a team. I'm your guy. Always remember this when you're calling too. Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Now some of us may get information from title. There is a list. Do not call. Respect that because you will get in trouble if it's a violation. Set up for success. As mentioned, Monday, Tuesday, you should be identifying your open house. By Wednesday, you're preparing. Thursday, Friday, you're doing the work, flyer drop off, procuring the area, looking the area, get familiar with the area. And then either if you do it Saturday, that's your open house. Weekends are typically the best time. Reason being, people are off work. Remember, our time is when 9 to 5 is off. Location, time, local practices, traffic patterns. Location, very important. You wanna make sure that, hey, can it be easily found? You don't wanna, get one that's like really difficult to find, and you may need 30 signs just to actually have somebody know where you're at. Good locations, know where it's at, know the MLS, know it's busy. Tongass is a great area because it's a lot of traffic out here. Everywhere's a good place, but just keep in mind on where the location is. If it's easy to find, if it's hard to find, if it's hard to find, you may not get as much traffic, or you may need a little more sign placement, a little more advertisement to help you get there. Time. Usually open houses are good, about 3 hours. That's 3 hours at the open house. So as I mentioned to you, show up about an hour before. So that's 4 hours. And then you gotta count close up. Not all the time, you're gonna leave at 2. You're probably gonna get those last people come in, is the open house open? I'm sorry, I was running late. And you're not gonna be like, no, it's 2:01, I'm closing the door. Not saying some agents won't, but you never know. That lead could be a good lead for you. Each one's an opportunity.
That's how I closed my first deal.
Yeah.
Someone showed up late like that.
Yeah, and most of the time they're really thankful. Oh, thank you, I know you're closing up shop. I really appreciate you allowing me to look at this house. And that's how a good report. They're like, oh, this guy's doing a little extra for me. He or she is doing a little extra for me. I really value that. Remember, our job is to bring value. So then you're gonna pick up your signs. Say for somebody, say you close up at 2:30 because you had somebody come in. Factor about 30 minutes to pick up your signs. So in reality, you're working from, say it's 11 to 2, you're looking from 10 to about 3:30. So it is a full day. So guys, please, 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 I can tell you this. Bring your provisions, water, snacks, eat before, because yes, we're not in the physical industry. Mentally, it gets drained. I know when I first entered a house, at the end, I'm just kind of like, and I started noticing it's because I'm not feeding myself. I'm not drinking water at the time. I'm not having snacks, because if you have a really busy open house, you're going to be having conversations left and right, and then at the end, you might, it's like, you're just like, that's such a busy day, and then if you're not able to maintain the conversations, you could be losing out on valid leads. And as we know, valid leads are paychecks. So then, you might walk away like, dang it, I should have asked that one question, but I was just tired of that, and we're here to maximize our opportunities and not lose out. And if you do, just learn what can you do differently. Local practices. What that means, sometimes in HOAs, you're not allowed to put up signs. So definitely, if you're in a gated community or if it's within an HOA, you want to find out, am I allowed to flyer drop off? Am I allowed to place signs? That's the last thing you want to do is place signs, and all of a sudden you get the seller or listing agent contacting you, hey, there's a violation, your signs got taken away, they're looking at giving a fee. Or you put up these signs, and all of a sudden you go back and you find them all on the ground. It happens. In HOAs, non-HOAs, sometimes that will happen. Traffic patterns. Again, this is if you do an open house during a weekday, that's near a school. When does the school get out? Make sure you place your signs to where they can see from the school to the house, because that's a good opportunity. Busy streets. Say you're on a busy street and you're like, dang, how am I going to get them to stop? I always like to put signs at stop signs, street lights, anywhere that I can see, if I'm looking at traffic from here, great, they turn here. Well, do I need to set over here so that I can catch both traffic? Because really, placing your signs, you need to be strategic. Don't just place them out there and they'll see it. Because then you're wasting your time. And you're not here to waste your time, you're here to maximize your time and maximize your opportunities. And then going back. All right. So door knocking. Yeah, if you want to go and introduce yourself and just invite the neighbors, hey, my name's Jose, I'm part of Keller Williams. I'm out inviting the neighbors as I took a service to my sellers. We're inviting everybody out to our open house, which we have on Saturday from 11 to 2 at XYZ. If you know anybody from work, or if you know any colleagues or any family members that are looking to buy in the area, great opportunity. We would love to see you and them. By the way, have you thought of selling your home? You kind of go into that. Scripts are huge, guys. You need to learn the language, because the benefit of that is that at the time of the opportunity, you know what to say, you know how to drive the conversation. Ask questions, but you're controlling the conversation. But ask the right questions to know, is this a valid lead? So social media, as we know, that's a huge thing nowadays. So you definitely want to start a campaign if you can, boost it, post it, let everybody know, hey, I have an open house this weekend from 11 to blank at XYZ. I'm inviting you. If you know anybody, come out. If not, come say hello. It's like the goal for the campaign, choose a social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You have fun with it nowadays. It's another form of advertising other than standard mail and door knocking. Maximize as much as you can. It's the opportunities. It's like you can do an ad for like what, $5, $10. You run it like 3 days prior. So this is the meat and potatoes for you guys. So we've already talked about prepare for your open houses, sign placement, door knocking, flyer drop off, start a social media campaign, really get the word out there that you have an open house, call your database. You know, let your friends and family know, hey, I'm out here, come see me if there's any questions. Now, when building rapport, when you have that conversation, it's great because there's three things that I look for as I'm having a conversation. Or not that I look for, there's 3 steps in my head as I'm having that conversation, where to take the conversation. First step, build rapport. Hello, welcome, thank you for taking about the house, so forth and so forth. When they come back, so talking about the house. You're stepping into that. They mention they have kids, talk about the kids. They mention any animals, talk about the animals. Mirror matching. This is very important for you as an agent because your goal is to learn how to build rapport. Now, yesterday was great. Not sure if you guys attended, but the disc class that Amy did. Did you guys attend, any of you guys? Okay. Highly recommend learn disc. That helped me tremendously. It was also something that I was studying when I left my last career to come over here because I just had an interest in learning people. And that's what really brought me into this industry because I wanted to learn people. And as we know, we can get along with more than one person. If somebody says, hey, we just don't click, that's fine. But our industry, that's a missed opportunity. So DISC, there's 4 different personalities they stay in this population. If you only get along with one, that's a 25% ratio. And as we know, that's a fail. It's 70% to get your license, 70% to get a license. So what does that mean? You need to be intentional in learning how to talk with other styles so that way you can improve your numbers, because this is a numbers game, to get that next lead. Highly recommend, guys. Maybe watch the video that Amy should probably send that back out. Do some research on your own. Understand that you have to take the initiative to learn this. Because you might get somebody who comes inside. They're deep, very direct. We know we like to call direct people. It's not the right word, but they're the ones who, hi, I'm here, go. Don't waste your time. Give them value up front. You have your eyes, I'm a high eye. You might get someone walking, hey, this is a nice house. They're gonna have a lot of conversation with you. They may stay there longer than you need to. You have to learn how to steer the conversation to where, great, I'll follow back up with you. In S, those are safety, stability. Those are the ones, they'll come inside, you greet them, they start walking probably like 2 feet. Hey, can you give me information on this? You give them information, you tend to walk back. What about this? If you notice that, those are the type of people, stay with them. You're gonna stay in rapport by being right with them and talking with them. C's, those are very analytical. Those are people that, I like the house. Let me get the information. I'll think about it. Don't pressure those people. Those are the ones, give them information. Great, so I'll follow up with you tomorrow Morning or afternoon, what works better for you? You call me at 12. Give them the information, let them marinate on it. That's just a little snip of this, I'm telling you, but this is a very good thing. So the first step is build rapport. That's your first step in the door. If you don't have rapport, you're not going to move on to step 2 and 3. So build rapport, be intentional, learn it. Check with Amy. If you missed the class yesterday, get the video or the material, really research it. The first step is learn you. So as you're building rapport, you're going to greet everybody that walks in the door. You're going to have guests sign in. Now, how you go about having them sign in first or afterward, that's up to you. Definitely test both of them to see what works better. Some people might sign in right away. Some might be a little, nah. And then as they come back and leave, you talk about the feedback, they might be a little more open. Oh, by the way, can you sign in? Oh, sure. If there's no rapport, it's like, I'm not signing in, I don't know you. And it's okay, don't feel upset about that. It tends to happen to everybody. And at the same time, like, do what you do would feel best with having signed in. If you're like, hey, for security reasons, the seller's asking that we have everybody sign in, that's okay as well. Luke, you did a great job at that when I sent this open house. But I understand that some people might push back and they might try to challenge that. If they do, like, you know what, it's okay, I'll make an exception, I'll catch you on the way out. So, when I'm at open houses and I'm talking and I'm identifying potential leads, in my head I'm making sure, am I building rapport? How can I build rapport? Oh, you have cats, you said. Oh, you have kids, look at that, blah, blah, blah. Once you're in rapport and you're having that conversation, you're qualifying the lead. Ask probing questions, identify willingness. So, what brought you out here? You know, I was just walking around the area. I live in the neighborhood, I see your signs. Yes, sign placement is working. Little chuckle, you're establishing that rapport. Oh, well, my agent sent me here. Oh, great, okay. Glad you give me help. You know, take a look around. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. Identify the willingness. You know, you might get somebody who says, you know, I want to buy a house, but I just don't know if I don't know if I can afford it. This is where this comes in. As you're talking with them, don't give too much. Because if you give too much information at the time, there's no reason for them to come sit down with you. So it's like, hey, you know, real quick, you know, I can easily help you with that. Let me show you my value. How much money do you make? Oh, I make about 10K. Great. You know, lenders, they typically be conservative. If you're looking at FHA, don't get too far into this. It's about 50% of your income. So we're looking at about $5,000. Let me ask you, do you have any debts? Credit cards, student loans, auto payments? I have a car loan that I just got. It's about $1,000, and I have about $1,500 in credit cards. $1,500? Okay, let me ask you, is that your minimum payment, or is that what you're paying? Oh, that's just what I pay. I like to pay it off every month. Okay. All the lenders look for is your minimum payment. Oh, it's probably about $50. We'll say $500 for here. Oh, great. Okay, so you got $1,500 in debt. All right, cool. Well, 5,000 minus 1,500. Well, it looks like you could qualify for about 3,500. Really? Now, with that being said, wouldn't you agree it's time to sit down so we can have an appointment and talk to our lender? You know what? Yeah, let's do that. And then as you're going for qualifying leads, I look for the close. Don't you agree? It's about time now we sit down and we'll go to the home buying process, same time, look at my lender, connect it, so that way we can really identify our affordability, and then from there we can move. Yeah. So 3 steps in my head that I'm looking at. Building rapport, giving your value, stating your value. If you don't let people know how you can help them, how are they supposed to know? If it's a first-time buyer, great! I love helping first-time buyers. I'm very big on education. Once you agree, the more you know, the more better you're going to feel. Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you, when are you available? Monday or Tuesday, morning or afternoon? Afternoon on Tuesday. Awesome. I'm going to send you a text, and I'll follow up. We're going to do it a Zoom. I look forward to talking to you. Boom. Set the appointment right there. But I stated my value. I gave my value. Know your value. You're fairly new right now. That's okay. Know the contracts. Shadow people. Do open houses. Learn what not to do, learn what to do. Remember, you have to fail forward in order to know, and that's okay. The more opportunities you do, the better you're going to become. And that's where we're in this industry, to become who we want to be. So again, give it. Build rapport, first step. Second step, state your value. I can tell you, as we've talked, home buying process, learn it. this is your value you're gonna give, especially first time buyer, because they're gonna be like, I don't even know where to start. I've heard so many negative aspects, how it could be like 60, 90 days to close, how difficult it is. Your job is to turn something difficult simple. You know what, James? It's a cinch. It's really a step-by-step process. And your first step is us sitting down so we can go over this so I can educate you. Again, wouldn't you agree that the more you know, the more comfortable you're gonna feel? Well, yeah, because right now I don't know what's going on. Exactly. Now let me ask, Monday or Tuesday, morning, afternoon, what time are you available? I'm going for the close. If you don't go for the close, you're gonna talk yourself out the door. And I can tell you from experience, when I first started, that's what I did. I'm a high I, I'm very talkative. I love talking to people. But I never went for the close, so I built rapport, I started probing them. All right, guys, see you later. Damn it. I didn't go for the close, and I didn't get all the information because I didn't check back after the fact that I didn't remember I didn't get the information. And it's okay, you're gonna go through this. You're gonna have to. But please do what you can to be prepared to prevent as much as that, because it would hate for you to miss like $1 million lead, or even a $500,000 cash and not know ask the right questions, or somebody who has like $100,000 for a down payment and they're like, I'm ready, but if you didn't go for the appointment, they're on to the next person. So make it simple. I'm going to reiterate this again. First step, build rapport. Second step, give your value, state your value. Nobody's going to know if you don't tell them. 3, go for the close. Step-by-step process, right?
Could you dive a little more deeper into evaluating whether or not you should have them sign on in the beginning?
Sign
What's your-
on.
Sign in the beginning, or when they walk out? Like, what's your experience with that?
Everybody's a little different. Somebody might come in, they might be a little standoffish. Don't keep pushing it, because you're just building you're pushing that rapport out. It's like if you keep pushing, hey, if it, like for you coming, hey Luke, great, thanks for coming in. Can I just sign in? It's really because Sally's asking for security reasons after everybody come inside. It's okay, Luke. You know what? I'll catch you on your way out. But if you have any questions, I'm here to help you. Remember that, though. As they come out, hey, Luke, we're seeing the house. Blah, blah, blah. Great. By the way, before you leave, I had great conversation. Thanks for the info. Can I sign in? Okay. You're a little more open to because now you're in rapport. Some people who come in, hey, security reasons, sign in. Great. A lot of them are just signing just to sign in. But there's nothing there. There's no rapport. And that's where I usually like the conversation. So what I do is I don't have everybody sign in. But then you guys remember, I have a little experience on this. It's not the correct way I can tell you because I want you to have everybody sign in as much as you can because you're going to add that to your database. However, I'm filtering everybody. So if I feel I got a good rapport with somebody and this is about a viable lead, you know what, Luke? It was great talking with you. Let me have you sign in. And by the way, what's your availability for us to have an appointment on Monday or Tuesday? So as they're doing that rapport, we're talking about, great. So I'll see you on 12 o'clock on Tuesday. I look forward to it. Let me just make sure. 91312, this is the correct number. abc@gmail.com, that's correct, right? Awesome. Oh, by the way, Luke, can I have your wife's going to be on there too, right? Yes, awesome. Can I have her information as well? Because, when 2 people are buying a home, I like to keep them both in the loop. This is huge too. If there's 2 people, you guys need to have both. Do not do with just one. Because the right hand might not tell left, the left might not want right. You want both hands right there so you can have them both engaged. Because one might not be on the same road or same path or might want to go with another agent. You need to know that. So it's really case by case. But I would always find that rapport session when you feel like it. Then you go, hey, by the way, can I have you sign in? It was been great chatting with you. Thanks for coming in. I really do appreciate that. I look forward to talking to you afterward. Whereas if it's like cold up front, they're not going to want to do it. So play with that. See where you're going to get more of a higher sign-in ratio. And remember, there's more than one way to do that. See where your strengths are and where you can improve. Maybe you try to have them sign all up front and use the whole security reason. Some people might not feel like that because they feel like you're forcing them to sign in. Whereas I want them to, yeah, here's my information, Luke. Yeah, give me a call. Man, it was great talking with you. Because in that way, when you follow up, hey Luke, it was great seeing you at my open house, thank you for coming in. And remember, let's think about that conversation we had. It's more of a warm belief. It's more of a belief that it has a higher potential to go somewhere. And one big thing that I recommend, never take kindness for consent. They may be happy at the time. You set an appointment. You follow back up. They don't show up. It's okay. You just follow up and understand that sometimes it's like that. Even more so, this is a number game. And never allow that to deflate yourself. Because I know a lot of times you might set 2 appointments, you're juiced, like, yes, I got 2 leads that I'm going to be working on. All of a sudden they show up. You're like, it happens. But know what you can do next time better. Maybe, what did you not, maybe these are something you missed. You know, maybe, again, don't take kindness for consent. It happens to all of us. But that's why it's a numbers game. The goal is at open house is to set the appointment. You're there to get leads. The house will sell. Do your job. Get the leads so that way you can benefit. Any questions on that?
So when people come in and they give their agent's card, what's the purpose of that?
The purpose is because, one, to say, hey, we're represented by an agent. Maybe their agent, was occupied, they can assist. Don't get me wrong, we always want to attend with our clients if we can, but sometimes we can't. Maybe they might have a family event, maybe they might have open house themselves, but they like to let them know. Like I tell my clients, hey, if you attend open house without me, make sure you let them know I'm with you, or you have an agent. Otherwise, we're going to do our job. Hey, are you looking for an agent? Hey, you want to buy a house? And again, that's one thing you want to make sure your clients are committed to you. And I'm big on this. I respect the next person. So as an agent, I'm not going to try to say, you know what? They're not here. Why not? We have lives. We're not. We also have other stuff we have to do, and we talk to their clients. Let them know, hey, look, I just can't make it today, but are you okay with the account? So they give them the card to say, hey, we're represented by somebody.
Can we be disciplined for asking somebody if they want our help when they have an agent?
Yeah, I mean, you can say, hey,
No, can we be disciplined for that?
I mean, not necessarily. It's more so like, hey, if there's
Is
anything
it
I can help you.
unethical? Is it?
That's a good question. Now, ethical for me is very huge. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not going to try to take somebody else's client. Reasoning, I don't want them to be with my client. But I will go, hey, if I can be any service to you, if the thing doesn't work out, here's my card, give me a call. But I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going to keep following up with you because again, me personally, I'm not going to do what I wouldn't want somebody else to do to me.
The customers and the agent will start looking at you like you're trash.
I mean, it's more so I wouldn't want something to do that to me because if I can't make an open house, but I send them, the last thing I want to do is worry about, dang, is the next agent going to try to poach them? Is my client's going to get, for some reason, caught up in the mess and they're going to go with them? I'm going to lose that because I had to attend a family event. So just, make sure your clients are committed, talk with them, give them your cards. And yes, ethically, I wouldn't do it at somebody else. Everybody's different, don't be wrong, some agents will do that, but that's why you gotta make sure your clients, hey, look, here's my card. I couldn't make it, but no, I will assist you and I will follow up after that to see what you thought about the open house.
If they sign something with their agent, then,
The buyer's agreement,
the buyer's agreement.
that's another way, buyer's agreement is really gonna, it's the commitment. As we know, buyer's agreement can be canceled, but it's more of, you and your client know clearly we're working with each other. I myself, I don't do too much of buyer's agreement because I really do pride myself on the commitment and the value that I give my clients. And if they leave me, I just didn't do my job well. And it's sometimes gonna happen like that. But yes, we strongly encourage to get a buyer's agreement if you can, just because it is gonna validate, I'm working with you. And if for some reason they got picked up at an open house and they signed because maybe the agent was like, hey, if you go with me today, I'll get your offer accepted. It happens. But you have your buyer's agreement already signed, like, hey, we are committed with working with each other, so we got to talk about this. And that's when the brokers get involved. But yes, buyer's agreement, definitely get that signed, depending on later on how you feel about that. But it is one way to protect you, and it's a clear commitment that you and your client know you guys are working with each other to buy a house.
Do you bring up the buyer's agreement to every buyer that you have, and then how do you bring it up to them?
I myself, I don't do buyer's agreements.
Oh, okay.
I really value on the I show my value, and I let them know, hey, we're committed with each other. And I make sure at the end of the plan, we know that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes if I'm not following up right, I'm gonna leave, I get it, that's something I got, dang it, I messed up, I gotta improve over here. But no, I make sure I give my value and that we have a commitment. With buyer's agreement, you wanna bring that up when you have a consultation. So you wanna get the consultation to go the whole buying process, get the information, and then you bring them, hey, so are we, now with this being said, are we committed with what each other? Yes. Great, let me have you sign a buyer's agreement, it's just a documentation, just letting us know as you sign it, we're working with each other. There is no, well, I didn't know, Luke, we were working with each other, I just thought I was an interviewing agent. And I use that too. I necessarily don't go in there and assume I will work with you. Great, so you're interviewing agents. Yeah, I am actually, but I'm going interviewing. Cool, let's get that appointment, and after we know we have this commitment. And I always ask them, are you currently talking with the other agents? Are you working with the other agents? And if they say yes, great. So when are you gonna identify, when are you gonna, when are you gonna select your agents? Oh, by Friday, great. And always give your consultation. If you guys don't know what a buyer's consultation consists of, check with them. You definitely need to know that's your appointment. That's where you're gonna get the information, you're gonna go over what they're looking for. This is where you're gonna actually touch on the income a little more, you're gonna have your lender with you, and then in the end, you're gonna be like, great, we know you can buy, or great, I know you're looking to buy within the next 60, 90 to maybe 6 months. And with that, let's get a buyer's agreement signed, because I know now we're working with each other, and this is just letting us both know, I'm your agent, you're my client, we're gonna work. Capture leads. So again, have your sign-in sheets. I mentioned to you, if you have a tablet, there is an app. I use Open House Pro, and it's free. Just download that, and again, it's automation. I like that because everything now is automated. Sign-in sheets, these are provided for you. Just print them out, and again, make sure. Always review it too. Keep in mind the client came in. Say Luke came in, and Luke only gave me his first name, and sometimes they'll give me half the email address and maybe 6 of the 9 numbers. Look at that. After everybody signs in, take a look at, okay, great, this is information. And as they go, well, hey, by the way, Luke, I didn't get your last name. Can I get your last name? Great. Oh, by the way, I can see, I know you're probably just trying to hurry up and sign in. I didn't get the last 4 of your digit. And is that Gmail or is that Hotmail? Revalidate the information before they leave because that's your time. Sometimes if you don't, you're going to walk away, you might have half the information, or they might only sign a name. And it happens, that's okay, but that's why you have to go ahead and recheck that before they leave, but at the same time, be conscious of who's here and who's leaving. Sometimes you might get caught up in a conversation and you see them leave. It happens, because you're in a current rapport right now with this person and they leave, well, it happens. But what you can do, always revalidate the information. Some people might write it sloppy on purpose. You'll see that, I'm a sloppy handwriter, so that's why I just go to the app because I ain't got to worry about that. And then sometimes trying to read other people's signatures too, it's like, you're probably a doctor, huh? And it's just all cursive or whatever the case may be.
What's the name of the app?
Open House Pro. I did that to eliminate that. Because again, people can get away with that. Oh, I just have sloppy handwriting.
Do you think it's a good idea to sign in for them? Just have them tell you their name and their number.
As long as they know they're signing in. Like, hey, I've done that towards maybe they have their hands full. Oh, as we're talking, great, okay, so we're going through it, they're talking with me, and I just got the information. And I'm showing them that, okay, need your full name, your phone number, your email, and how did you locate us? Oh, sign. Awesome. Obviously you need to get their consent from that. You're not just going to pick any information down. And sometimes you might get a wrong number. It's all right. It happens.
Having me ask something else.
And it tends to happen to you. You call back and you think you're sending point, and all of a sudden it's like, dang it. That's why it's the numbers.
That actually brings me to another question. Let's say you get their number, it went well, they didn't want an appointment, but you still follow up on Monday. And how long do you go before you delete the lead command when they're not responding?
Don't stop at the. If you're going to call somebody, obviously it's like a dead number. Okay, try the email. You're gonna add them to your database. Just continue, I mean, you never know. You've heard stories of people saying they stay in contact with people for some time now and all of a sudden reach out. So I'd say like 30 to 60 days, depending on if you're getting any communication back or if you're getting any feedback. They're even communicating to you, so no longer. But I say I wouldn't stop from not getting reciprocation immediately. Always try to give something of value. So, say you got a valid number and they're just not responding, like, hey, this is Luke. I met you at an open house. I just want to let you know there's a similar home that's on the market right up in the area. I want to see if it's of interest. Here, if you guys don't know how to go to MLS and email a listing to the email, and then you can just copy the link, and then you can do it via text. And I do that. So a lot of times you're going to say, oh, I sent you an email. Well, as we know, texts are reading it now, so I want to get the information to them right now. So I will get it from the email, I'll click it, I'll copy it, and I'll put it in text, and hey, here's a link, take a look at it, what do you think? So there's a lot of different ways. I mean, always try, don't give up, use your resources. A lot of resources we have in order to try to get that client, and if it doesn't, then it's, But that's why it's a numbers game.
Let's say you did get a hold of them, like, oh yeah, I do like that house, can I go look at it? But you haven't pre-approved them. Would you still be like, okay, yeah, let's go look at it?
Because then you're gonna then.
Do the reporting on it.
Correct. And sometimes you have to do that, guys. It's not like, oh, I gotta get you pre-approved before I can take you out. Don't be wrong. Ideally, yes. But if they're willing to go see you again, you're gonna give them more one-on-one attention. Some say, great, yeah, what's your availability? Oh, you tomorrow? Awesome. What time? Check your schedule. If you're available, great, let's go take a look at it again. Because then when I'm there, now it's just me and them. Now I'm in rapport. So now I'm really gonna start asking more questions. Maybe I missed some questions from last time. And then it's like, okay, revalidate, go for the close. So what do you think of this home? Great, Luke, I think it's a nice home. I just haven't been pre-approved yet. Exactly, this market is very fast, so I'm gonna highly recommend you talk to our lender. What's your availability? I can have them reach out to you, or we can set an appointment. Because homes in this market tend to stay on the market between 4 to 10 days. And I explained that. Know the market as well. This is where you're going to give your value. Hey guys, this house came on the market on Wednesday. Today's Sunday. Offers are due Monday by afternoon. You may be a little late for this, but we can get you to my lender. We can get you pre-approval. But if we miss this one, don't worry. Let's get you proactive and get you in a position to where we get the next house. And sometimes they got to miss out to understand, and that's okay. But that's, again, when you show them that, you're going to build that rapport even more so. And if you didn't get the appointment the first time, you have a second shot to make sure you get that appointment. Any other questions on that?
Have you ever had to tell somebody like, hey, we gotta stop looking at houses until you get pre-approved?
No, because I'm pretty like, I'll show them a few and then I'm go for close. Doesn't make sense for me, you use, hey, this is a great house, right? Don't you like this house? Yeah, perfect. Wouldn't you be a little upset if you could find out you couldn't afford it and waste this time looking at houses? Shouldn't you be looking at houses that's within your budget? Yeah. Great, so now again, even more so why we should connect you with my lender. We can get you pre-approved and find that affordability. Sometimes you may have to show a little more, but really like 1 to 3 homes if you can, if that, because again, you don't want to be wasting your time. You can be taking away from your family or taking time to as another client that may be more willing, able right now. But it doesn't mean that you don't want to give them a little love so that way you can see where they're at. But yes, typically, we don't recommend showing homes without, especially in this market. And that's where you have to know this market so you can explain to the clients, where the trends are going, which is great because our weekly meetings, John talks about this. The homes are on the market on Wednesday, showing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Monday, offers are due. By either Tuesday or Wednesday, they're going to be in contract. So again, about 4 to 7 days. It's a very fast-moving market, and we need to be pre-approved. Great. And people tend to look online first. Zillow, Trillia, Realtor.com. Then you ask them, well, haven't you been seeing the market? Yeah, look, I see it go up, then I see it go up. Exactly. That's why we got to be prepared. So let's be proactive. Let's get you pre-approved. You're giving the value. You're saying, hey, I want to help you. You want to buy a house, but I'm giving you a disservice if I'm not setting you up correctly in order to buy your house. Then they might be a little upset with you.
Did you say that you can text people houses from MLS?
Correct. So if you go on MLS and say you pull up a property, you can click email. And if just that one's selected, you can send it. I either will email to myself, and then it goes to my email. At the bottom, there's like the link. I'll look on my phone, copy, in the text, paste. Hey Mike, it was great talking with you. As I mentioned, there's a similar property that just came up. Take a look at it. Let's see if it's of interest. If so, let's go take a look. Then we connect you to my lender. Or let's connect you to my lender, and then we go take a look. They're going to look at their phone immediately. Whereas if, yes, you can actually email on your phone, but it's one additional step. I'm trying to take that away. I just wanted one step, bam. Oh, yeah, Jose, I can see that. It's great. I'm available Saturday. Awesome. Today's Wednesday. Let me connect you to my lender, and we'll plan for Saturday. Okay?
Email it to yourself, then copy and paste it
Yep.
to their text message.
Yep, I usually will like email to them, but then I'll CC me. So that way, again, they're going to get email. Say maybe they're on the computer, they access that first. But I'm trying to get email and text. Bam. Either way, it's in the hand.
One more question.
Sure.
Where you said, half of the income is 5,000?
Yeah.
Is that before taxes or after taxes?
Gross.
Gross.
Lenders look at gross.
Gross is before,
Yes.
so you can still calculate how much they can afford before taxes?
Correct. Because when you apply for stuff, they always look for gross. You apply for credit cards, they'll say, what's your gross pay? What's your annual pay? People always base it on gross. And then remember, this is just an estimate. So let them know, like, hey, look, I'm not a lender. It's just, I know my job. My job is to provide a service and a value. This is just giving us a quick snippet, but we're more so going to get the actual connection to my lender. This at least gets them excited, like, oh, nice. So you mean I can afford $3,500?
Because really after taxes, they can't afford 3,500.
That's a lender's position on that one, you know. But this is how when you apply for loans, this is how they all apply, gross pay. Alright. So definitely, it's important, safety is in everything. What time is it? Are we past? 11:05. I'll go for about another 10 minutes. It's a lot of information, open house, especially doing it correctly and knowing what to do. Always keep this in mind, safety guys, as agents. Always know your surroundings, know where you're at, know where you gotta go. Is this dead end? Where do I gotta go from here? Because as you know, we're out there and people tend to know, oh, you're a real estate agent, so you guys make good money, and we always want to stay safe, women and men. So know your surroundings, know where you put your signs at, always be prepared. Know where the doors are, if it's locked, if it's open. Park on the street. I don't like to park in the driveway or on that street in front of the house, just because I want people to have parking space. At the same time, I want them to look at the curb appeal. So I usually park across the street or like the house next to that. I don't park too far away, just because for safety reasons. Meet the neighbors. When you're door knocking, introduce yourself again. Hey, name's Jose. I'm holding open house. I want to invite you in case you know anyone else moving in the area. By the way, have you thought about selling your home? Never turn your back on a prospect. I mean, what it means is that, one, no one's coming in. Two, I guess, they could all be elite. Let's say that for safety reasons, just make sure you know like where you're at. Establish an escape route. So that's where you gotta know where your door's at. So if for some reason something happens, where can I go? Is this open? Is it locked? when I do open houses, I tend to go and I open up all the doors. All the sliding doors, screen door, I don't lock doors. I tend to leave the front door open if I can, just so people know to come inside. It's also communication to them, it's an open house. Because sometimes you people do close the door, everybody. Dude, signs say open house. That's right, the door's closed, they're just being polite. Let them know where you are. Let your family members know. Let your friends know, hey, by the way, I have an open house in Al Grove at this address from 11 to 2. Just so you know as to where I'm at. Charge your cell phone. So I always bring my chargers. This is your tool of your trade right now. You hate to be getting for an appointment all of a sudden. It's like, oh, my phone's dead. Dang it, can't set that up like that. But for safety reasons, as you know, always keep your cell phone charged in case you have to call for any type of help for some reason. Or let somebody know, hey, I got a weirdo in here, I just want to let you know. Because sometimes, you get random people here depending on where you're at. You might get somebody you might not feel comfortable with, so then you're like, okay, you're talking to your friend or spouse, like, hey, I just want to talk to you because that's something weird in here. You know, sometimes it'd be like that. Safety is important.
I had a guy ask if I had a lot of cash on me.
Because a lot of people think, you're like, oh, you're realtors, you make a lot of money, so they think, oh, you're a good talker.
Downtown Center.
Yeah, be careful, especially downtown, you know, there's a lot goes on around there.
I got nothing.
Just give us these tips, you guys.
Follow up and convert. As we know, follow up where the
Yeah.
money's at. Appointment, active, under contract, close. Remember, your goal is to get as many leads as you can, filter through the funnel, see who's a qualified lead, who's pre-approved, but the first step is you need an appointment. That's at the close of the appointment, close at the open house. Your goal is to always set the appointment. And then as you go from there, you can get pre-approved, and guess what? They are now an active buyer. You have an A, B, and C. Active buyer could be, hey, they're willing to buy in the next 30 days. It's a hot lead. You may have a B, they might buy in 6 months, then you might have a C, like, probably a year out, let's nurture. But the follow-up is the money at, because the goal is to turn those C's to B's, the B's to A's, and obviously the A's are the contract. And some people might say, hey, I'm not looking to buy for about 6 months, but then a right property comes up, and all of a sudden, you're prepared. Goal is to get a contract, know the home buying process, know what it takes during the process. The goal is to close. And then, as we know, rinse and repeat, on to the next. Four ways to stand out during an open house. Never hosted a speaker, but definitely be in front. When I attended Luke's, it was nice because he was right there when you opened the door. So as they come in, hi! So you don't want to be too far away. Like I've seen people where they're like way over here in the kitchen. Nice to see you, come on in. That's number 4 right there. Offer a gift. Luke had a raffle. He had a Jamba Juice card. So you can give an incentive to, hey guys, sign me in, you're going to enter into a raffle. It's going to make you, oh, I can win something. Cool. There you go. And it's another way to capture the information. Great job with that. You can give him Jamba Juice.
I actually switched one out to Starbucks for the listing lady, because she actually on the phone when I was setting up the appointment, she's like, just letting you know, next time, I think you should get a Starbucks card instead. So I showed up and I gave her a different card. It said,
Do you see how much was that?
$10.
Okay. Boom. You see how much a $10, one, it was a nice gesture. Oh, I won something. Open that rapport, so you're in that, and then look what it turned out. A $10.
Give me a reason to call people too.
Exactly.
Did she win it or did you?
She actually did win it.
Oh, okay.
So it even helped. I mean, it was an accident. I just randomly draw. And I was like, oh.
That's a hot lead. Hey, I'm gonna call you. Because then it's like, great, so I'll go drop it off. Boom. It's
Good
another
reason to meet
reason.
up.
Exactly.
She was originally wanting me to just email her comps, but I was, thankfully, in my ignorance, I was actually gonna try to do that. And, but I had trouble with it, and I'm glad I did, because now I realize, hey, don't just send them the comps on the email. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna have to meet up and bring them up with you, and bring you up too.
Yeah. Find a way to touch. You need to touch your clients many times. If it's a phone call, if it's an email, if it's a drop by, if it's for some reason, you give a gift, hey, I want to come by and give that to you and say hello. It's another touch, stay in contact with them.
Do you think I should give to hot buyer leads that are not represented? Do you think it'd be a good idea to give their information to a lender, have them follow up with them as well?
You want to make sure that they give you consent to do that. Yeah, exactly. That's the last thing. I didn't talk to Luke. Why are you calling me? Boom, you just damage that relationship right there.
Right.
You always want to let them know when you get their consent. Hey, I can connect you with my lender in 24 hours. Is that okay? Yes.
Like what? If you don't-
Get the house in showing shape. So when you first get there, again, I told you I'm running around, I'm opening all the blinds, turning off all the lights, opening the doors, because that time I open the door, it's open. You never know, you might go to a house, it might be like a little stagnant smell that's vacant. Open the windows, open the doors, get that fresh out.
Candles.
Candles, be careful with that. Some candles are a little over strong. Always keep your provisions. In addition to your food and your snacks, hey, paper towels, toilet paper, Lysol sprays, today, masks, gloves, extra booties. You should have a box in your car. I do. It's funny, some of my friends, they'll look at my truck, they're like, what do you have toilet paper? You never know, man. I just had somebody, they had a kid the other day and they had to use the restroom and there's no toilet paper. Don't worry. Got you.
Or even if you have to use the restroom.
Yeah, exactly. And it's another thing that it was nice because if your clients, if they need them that, they may think you don't have it. And you're like, I got you. See, he's taking care of me. He's prepared.
Measuring tape, bro.
Measuring
I
tape,
think that's a lot.
exactly. Because some people will be there like, I don't know if my couch will fit here, or I don't know if my refrigerator fits. Don't worry. For those who have an iPhone, there's an app for that.
You should also have a level, I know most folks don't, but I walked into the house one time and this master shower it was all quartz pan.
These have levels on them.
Yeah, that's only 3 inches. I came from construction, that's not a start.
Hey, some people
This pan was flat. The
Yeah.
shower pan was, I mean, it was just 100% flat. It was quartz.
Yeah.
No slope to it. And it's something to point out. Because that's a terrible shower pan.
He has experience because he was in construction.
It's barely gonna
Yeah,
drain.
but a lot of that time, he leads inspectors.
So what kind of?
Not for an open house, but like you're showing a home. I wouldn't go for an open house, but.
This app it's in your phone. If you have an open house, it's in one of your tools, it's on your phone. It's the Measure app.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
So yeah, definitely have that, toilet paper, paper towels, water, gloves, mask, hand sanitizer. You wanna keep those in your car because you're definitely gonna need those. Go live. So after you get the house prepped and you aired it out and it's ready, make sure that you look all around. You might go and, for example, in Luke, see the water like that, you might find a little bug. Get that out. Get that out. No, I mean, it's just one, because you never, someone's like, you know what? Not gonna happen today, I'm leaving. And for real, yeah. So Oaks Repair,
Thanks for
open up all the
saving me on that.
doors. Yeah. And then if you go to open houses, be courteous and let the next person know, like I said. He was like, oh. You know, I'm not gonna, oh my God, there's a bug in here. You know, no. Be courteous. Things tend to happen, but please check everything before you can do it. Flush your toilets. There's times you go in there and maybe somebody forgot to flush the toilet. Flush that toilet. You know? Let's see. I know I'm over time.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay, how many more? Are you guys okay? I mean, you guys want me to, you guys tired now? You guys want me to cut out or give me a few more minutes? No? Cool. Cool. All right, so best practice for hosting dues. Again, welcome visitors. Get the house in showing shape. Think safety first. Always think safety. Don't leave your valuables exposed. So if you go, like I'll bring my stuff, like on my laptop, my tablet, case it be. I don't just leave it out in the open. I'll put it like in a cupboard. You know, I tend to not bring my wallet. I usually just need my cell phone and maybe I need my laptop. I know if I have to do some work there, I'll do that.
So you
again,
don't
I
bring
put it
your
in my-
wallet?
No.
You leave it in the car?
Yeah. I don't really need that. I mean, then you're like, well, you're in the car. You know, but I try to keep as least stuff in my pocket as I can. I'll put it in my bag, but I mean, most of the time I'll just leave it in the car. But I put it in my trunk. Remember, even in your car, put stuff in your trunk and it seems something like, don't let anybody see it stuff. That's hating you like do is go and break something. Don't have messy meals or snacks. So be careful with that. Like I know sometimes you bring snacks, like don't bring anything that's gonna smell in the house, maybe like a granola bar, bring some water, maybe some gum. The last thing you wanna do is where you eat something in there and all of a sudden the whole smells the house. People walk in like, oh my God. Because people will be very truthful to you. They'll say, this house stinks. And that's why, you know, I always bring like 5 air fresheners. I'll go in the house, I'll spray it all up. You can light a candle, but you be a little cautious with that, you know, get something that's not too overpowering. Because if it's too overpowering, you have some sellers do that, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is just too vanilla. This is, I can't do this. And don't make assumptions. Never assume somebody is not represented. Never assume somebody is represented. Ask the question. Never assume somebody cannot afford it. Ask the question, send it to a lender. Just went over this. I love how kind of already validating this. Disinfectant wipes, toilet paper, paper towels, pens, air freshener, extra business cards. Have that. What I do as well is that I have like a digital one. Have it in your phone saved for easy access because again, I'm trying to get it, everything's on their phone. With cards, I mean, great, I'm gonna give you my card, same time I'm gonna text you my card. I'm gonna make sure you have it physical and digital. I wanna make sure you know how to get my information. Backup battery power for phone, always have your charger. Measuring tape, there you go. But who's the, he said measuring tape, no, he said balance. Trash bags, I do have trash bags as well, because sometimes there might be some garbage in the front. You know, maybe they had trashed it, and they pick up the trash, you know, some trash from everywhere, I'll go and I'll pick it up, because I want to make sure it's presentable, even in the backyard. Tissues, I always have tissues. Trash bags, it's funny because, it's not funny, but I'll be quick on this one. I toured 2 homes with my clients, and for some reason in these 2 homes, there was crap inside. Like, physical crap. Shit. So, you know, sometimes you have to do some dirty work just to make that a pleasant experience for your client, because we just got in there and the last thing, she's seen that, she already had a negative outlook on the house, but I'm like, okay, real quick. Hard tissue, there's a bug. Hey,
Can you put the app on any tablet?
yeah, pretty sure, I mean, I have Apple, so I'm pretty sure you can answer it too. And they might have a different app, but same thing. Lead generate, as we know, follow. As new leads go down the funnel, you're gonna follow up to then turn those A, B, and C buyers, connect to your lenders, so they can find their affordability. Once they have the pre-approval, go to work. All right. So quickly, we went through all the information. Any ahas that you guys can share with me from today?
Safety. Greet them at the door.
Yeah.
Make sure you say hello to them.
Absolutely.
The big one for me was the report, because I think that's your own.
Yeah. That's good.
Remember with that report, disc profile. Talk to Melinda, talk to Amy, they get you information. That's gonna be a huge thing, knowing who you're talking to and how to talk to them. Because we all don't speak the same language. But your job is to learn how to speak that language to improve your numbers.
There was actually a client that was super talkative that wanted to talk to me on Sunday, and I was gonna ask you your opinion, but how do you deal with people like that? They're so talkative, it's like keeping you from grabbing.
Control the
people.
conversation.
What
So
type
talk
of person is that? Is it this?
Probably like an I, like me. I'm, want to know as many questions. So listen to them, answer the questions, control the conversation. So answer some questions, say, hey, it was great talking with you. Take a look around. When you come back, give me your feedback. And then they come back around, they want to still be talking to them. Hey, great conversation. Hey, great time talking with you. Wouldn't you agree it's about time we sit down so I can give you my one-on-one attention? As you know, right now I'm an open house, so I have to give you only a percentage of my conversation, but I would love to give you my full attention so I can answer all your questions. What are you available? Monday or Tuesday, morning or afternoon? Remember, that's close. You see, I'm always going with that. That's the most important factor. If you don't go for the close, you're going to hit that second step and you're going to talk your way out of the conversation and you're going to look back and be like, damn. They said they had good credit. They said they had a large down payment, but I did not go for the close. And once they're gone, you can follow up. But when you're in front of the person, that's when they're going to have the higher likelihood of setting an appointment with you. Whereas if you call them, they may not, because they were in that moment. They were, yes, Luke, it was great talking with you. You had a great conversation. Let's get that appointment. Whereas once that report's over and that excitement goes down, I'm just busy this weekend. Call me next week. So always when you get that moment, go for the close. Remember, I'll leave off with this one. 3 sections. Rapport, give your value, state your value, go for the close. And the close is lock that appointment.
Can I say something? Sure. If you were not able to attend Amy's disc class this week, it is recorded and it should have been emailed to all of you. So you can go back and rewatch it.
Yeah. And I can tell you the goal, your goal every open house is to get an appointment. I can say, fortunately, I've set, sometimes it's 1 appointment, sometimes I'll set like 5 to 6 appointments. But at the same time, I understand, may not all of those 5 or 6 will show, but I'm just looking for that one buyer. Thanks, guys, for attending today. It was a pleasure speaking with you all. I hope you got some value out of this. And sorry it went over, but I appreciate you guys staying.